What's going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my UFC 96 Jackson vs. Jardine predictions taking place March 7th from Columbus, Ohio. If you didn't see my WEC 39 video, school and life has just been crazy right now. I know I've not been busting these videos out like I normally do, but anytime you don't see me put a video up right away, that's what's going on. Just school is just killing me right now. It's absolutely killing me. So, real quick, also I'm going to try a new style with these prediction videos here in the next couple weeks. Let me know if you like this better. Instead of really covering who the fighters have fought in their last couple fights, I'm going to try to be more into depth about the fight itself and give you a more well-rounded look at it. So let's go ahead and start from the bottom of the main card, work our way up to the top. First fight, Gray Maynard taking on Jim Miller. A great way to start off this card. Gray Maynard training out of Extreme Couture. Very well-rounded. He's got good hands, good wrestling, good submission defense, good cardio, loves to push the pace, very aggressive. He's training, like I said, out of Extreme Couture. He's looked very, very good in his last couple fights. And he's taking on a dangerous opponent in Jim Miller. Jim Miller training out of the AMA Fight Club. Brown belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, good boxing skills, Division I wrestler, a very well-rounded fighter, very aggressive, loves to push the pace. This is going to be a very entertaining fight. Both guys are going to go back and forth. I think you're going to see this fight go everywhere. I think it's going to be standing, going to be clinch work, going to be on the ground. I think this fight is going to pull out to a decision, and I think the edge is going to go, to Jim Miller. I think he's got the best hybrid style with grappling and wrestling that I've seen with fighters. Another example would be Mark Bocek. Mark Bocek has taken a very, very good example of taking grappling and wrestling and adapting it to where he uses the grappling and the wrestling together to achieve, better positions. Jim Miller's perfected that as well. He's done very, very good with that. He's got good hands. I think in the clinch he'll be able to withstand Gray Maynard, and I think Jim Miller wins a split decision. Alright, next fight, Gabriel Gonzaga taking on Shane Carwin. This is a very, very interesting fight. Tough to call, believe it or not. It is tough for me to call. Gabriel Gonzaga is training out of Team Link. He has good boxing skills, good leg kicks, good high kicks. You saw the vicious knockout of Mirko Krokop, and then you can go back to the somewhat lackluster fight up to the point that Gonzaga popped Kevin Jordan in the mouth and finished the fight. Kevin Jordan's face was just a mess. Gonzaga, very well-rounded, like I said. His jiu-jitsu, primarily, he's better on the top than he is on the bottom. He loves the top game. He loves Americanas, Kimuras, arm bars, head and arm chokes. That's where he's the most dangerous. He's taking on a formidable opponent in Shane Carwin, who is an up-and-comer in the heavyweight division. A lot of people consider this guy to be the next guy to really give a run to not only Brock Lesnar, but maybe Frank Mir if Frank Mir wins the title. Shane Carwin is a Division II wrestler, purple belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, good hands, good cardio. He continues to get better in every single one of his fights. It's just amazing the learning curve that this guy is progressing on in every single one of his fights. The knockout of Christian Malish was just nasty, and he's just a dangerous guy. Like I said, this fight is tough to call. I see this fight going one of two ways. A, this fight stays standing and Gonzaga is able to pick apart Carwin on the feet, use good leg kicks, good boxing skills, move in and out of the pocket effectively, try to avoid the clinch to where Carwin can get him down. Or Carwin's able to close the distance in the clinch, take the fight down consistently, work some ground and pound, and win either by a TKO or a decision. But I'm going to pick the latter. I'm going to say Gonzaga wins this. I'm going to say Gabriel Gonzaga wins via third-round TKO. I think he will get taken down in this fight. I think, though, he'll be able to get back up. What I see happening is I actually see him picking apart Carwin on the feet, trying to avoid the clinch, moving in and out of the pocket effectively, catching Carwin and finishing in the third round via TKO. Alright, next fight, Pete Sell taking on Matt Brown. Two guys that are very, very well-rounded, both of them. Pete Sell training out of Sierra Jiu-Jitsu. Black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, good hands, good boxing skills, good wrestling, good grappling skills. He's one of the guys that has transitioned grappling into MMA very, very well. He's taking on Matt Brown, who is a blue belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, good cardio, well-rounded, good hands, good wrestling, very aggressive, training out of Team Gurgel. Tough fight to call here as well, but I think the experience factor and the size factor, I think Sell's going to be a little bit bigger than Brown. I think it's going to play into this fight. I think Pete Sell is going to be able to push the pace on Matt Brown. Both these guys are going to be back and forth. I but I think Pete Sell is going to win via a unanimous decision. I think he's got, at least in my opinion, the better boxing skills. I think he's better on the ground. I think his wrestling may be just a tad bit better than Matt Brown's, and I think he's going to squeak out the decision. So I'm going to pick Pete Sell. All right, next fight, Matt Hamill taking on Mark Munoz. Of course, this is Mark Munoz's debut in the UFC. Of course, was cut from the WEC's light heavyweight division when that folded up. Mark Munoz training out of the Capital City Fighting Alliance and also Ultimate Fitness, which is the same camp as Uriah Faber. He's a Division I wrestler, good hands, good cardio, good sub-defense. Looked very good in his last fight against Ricardo Barros. Looked a little shaky against Chuck Grigsby. He had a couple of tough spots in that fight, but showed a lot of progression against the fight with Barros. Taking on Matt Hamill, who is a Division III wrestler. He's got good Greco base, improving hands, has had cardio issues in the past, good sub-defense. Looked good against his last opponent, which was Reese Andy. This fight, if it stays standing and doesn't get in a clinch, Munoz, I think, has got the better hands, even though Matt Hamill's striking is improving. But what I see happening, I see Hamill clinching a lot with Munoz, putting him up against the cage, trying to get this fight down. And I think he will get Munoz down at some point, be able to control him. I think Hamill's, at least in my opinion, the bigger fighter. And I think Hamill's able to win via a decision. I think he's able to pull out a decision on Munoz and win. So I'm going to pick Matt Hamill via decision. Alright, on to the main event. Rampage Jackson taking on Keith Jardine. Rampage Jackson, good hands, good boxing skills, training out of Wolf Slayer. Very, very good wrestler, very aggressive, loves to push the pace, has good submission defense. Has really gone more towards the boxing aspect than his Pride days, where he's kind of more into the Muay Thai and the clinch. And where he worked more on that, and worked more on his leg kicks as well, which is something you don't see him do as much of. He's taking on a formidable opponent, Keith Jardine, who's training out of Jackson Submission Fighting. He's got a black belt in Gai Jiu-Jitsu. He's got an unorthodox striking style, but it's effective. He's got good kickboxing, very, very good submission skills, and he's got decent takedown defense. In this fight, it's a contrast of styles. If Rampage is tentative, which I don't think he will be, I think Keith will be able to key off of that and be able to set in the pocket, be able to use leg kicks, use that unorthodox striking style. And that was the situation that happened with Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell wasn't aggressive. Of course, he's a counter striker. Keith Jardine was able to use that to his advantage. But if you've seen Keith Jardine fight anyone that has been aggressive, the example, Houston Alexander, Vanderlei Silva, he does not do well against guys that push the pace. I think Rampage is going to do that to him. I think he's going to move forward, push the pace, use good 1-2 combinations. I think Rampage, when he's at his peak and when he's on, is one of the best, if not the best, light heavyweight in the world. So I'm going to pick Rampage Jackson. I'm going to say he wins via a third-round knockout. Late second, early third, and I think Rampage Jackson wins this fight and moves on to fight Rashad Evans for the light heavyweight championship. So that should be an interesting fight. Alright, I will be back the night of or the night after to do my review. Make sure you check out my sponsors in the description side. And on that note, you guys, have a great day.